Hi, is this Travis, the hitting coach for the Cubs? Hi, mate, it's Aussie Villain. Good, mate, good. Look, I just wanted a quick catch-up about how you're settling in at the club. Oh, great, mate, that's really nice to hear. Now, listen, look, last season this lineup almost exactly hit 271 under the old guy, and this season under you we're batting 235. I know, mate, that is a big difference, isn't it? Fix it.
Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to the Chicago Cubs. It is Season 9, Episode 2 today. We are hosting the Seattle Mariners and it's not been our best start, let's put it that way. This is a new hitting coach, of course, Travis Denker, and, well, a bit sillily, perhaps, in hindsight, I gave him a 4-year deal on $900,000 a year. So that's a slight problem if it comes to sacking him. And the way that we're going right now with the bats, we need to sack him because we're batting 235. Our ERA is actually really good, at team ERA at 372. Now, the reason that I hired him was this. He had good relationships with more or less everybody. And well, that's not giving us any benefit. If we go and have a look at sort of the homepage here, so you can kind of see, we're currently just one game below 500. We lost opening day, obviously, but we have played 500 since then. But that is not where this team should be. We should be well above 500. So, yeah, I mean, if you look here at the team rankings, I'll get rid of myself so that you can see them a little bit clearer here. I mean, the hitting side of things is disgraceful. I mean, it really is. For the team that we have, to be 15th in on-base percentage, to be 13th in batting average and runs scored, that is just not good enough. And the frustrating thing about it is that the pitching, the defensive side of our game, which last season was the weakness, is right up there. It's very competitive with the rest of the league. And the bats are letting us down. Now, you'll notice here that Vlad is out. He's missed most of the start of the season with an injury. We don't know when he's coming back. It was just a day-to-day one, a strained oblique. But I put him on the IL because it was 3 weeks. I thought, you know what, let's just sit him, rest him, get him back fit. And he's not necessarily done that because we don't know when he's coming back now. Patterson's missing for a week as well, just day-to-day. So it's not been ideal, but the team still should be good enough to be able to do better than we have been. So let's have a quick look at how we have been doing. So after our opening day defeat, we actually got swept in that series by Pittsburgh, so that's not good. We then went at home. Our first game's at home. We won 8-0 on our sort of home opener against Philadelphia, but then we lost the rest of that series. Now in game 2 here, you wouldn't believe it. You couldn't make this up. 7 runs we gave up in the 9th. We were maybe not cruising. It would have been 4-3 at the time, but come on, guys, we're better than that. If we're not, we know we're not. But yeah, I mean, it was going so well until that point. And if we go and have a look here at the pitching, it was Montano who had a cool ERA of 189 at times, like when I used to try and pitch. So yeah, that wasn't great work from Montano, was it, to give up 7 runs in 0.1 of an inning? Montano. Luckily, he's good most of the time. So yeah, that wasn't great. Then we did start to turn things around a little bit. We won 2 of 3 at home against Milwaukee. We then went to Colorado. We won 2 of 3 there, including a very impressive 12-1 win in the second game. But in the third game, which was actually a loss, we did have our first grand slam of the year in the second. We scored 6 runs and 2 innings in this one as well, and then still somehow managed to blow it. But De La Cruz hit a grand slam, which is obviously very nice. Not a great deal else happened in terms of the bats, which is probably why we lost. You'll notice here, if you're eagle-eyed, Banfield, this was his first game of Major League Baseball. We had an injury to Ballesteros, I think, a day-to-dayer, and Langers needed a bit of a rest. So Banfield came in for this one just to sort of fill in. And the pitching, not a great day to be a Gallagher or a Murillo, and possibly a Joswiak as well. But yeah, you have these sorts of days sometimes, don't you? Then we went to San Francisco. We won. We split that series with them 2 of 4. We then had a 3-game series versus Houston. Won 2 of 3 of them. Now in game 1 here, we had a first career home run, and that was for Necker. Now he has since dropped out of the team, but in the top of the 5th here was where he got his home run. So we can see him here. He came in for Vlad initially. I mean, he does have good power. Stay there. He does have good power. He was doing well in AAA, but you can see there, came up and started well, but did fade quite quickly. So we sent him back to AAA at this point. But yeah, first career home run for him in this one, which is always a nice milestone. And there we can see Joswiak. I still don't know why Joswiak started this game. But he did okay, and just the pitchers in general had a pretty good day out. So yeah, that was not too bad. So then we went, so we hosted Boston, and wouldn't you know it, we swept them. We freaking swept them. Unbelievable. So you'd say it's a bit of retribution for the World Series last year, but it's not, is it? Because they won it and we didn't. But in game one here, we won it in the ninth, which is very nice. So a 3-run bottom of the ninth to steal it from them, and it was the least we could do, really. So that was I guess a nice thing, but I always feel like it was more frustrating than anything, but it's a different season and all that kind of stuff, so it's not in any way says that we could have done more last year, because who knows what sort of team they have. Alien Do in their starting lineup, so yeah, that's nice to get one over him. And of course we had Watson in our lineups. That was the trade we made at the time. De Leon had a 4-for-4 day as well, which is good for him. And if we look at the pitching, there it is. There again, pitchers didn't do too badly. An error costing Hertz some extra runs, but not earned runs. But yeah, we got the win, which is the main thing. So Minnesota then came to town. We only won 1 of 3 against them, and this is where things started to fade off a little bit, because if we go over to May, we've lost the first 2 of this series at home to Seattle as well, so that is obviously not ideal. The standings, and well, we can see them in a little bit more detail here. We are currently 1 game off 500, only 4.5 games back of the Brewers. It's not the end of the world. We just need the bats to kick on a little bit for us. That's the main issue right now. And if we have a look at league leaders, as you would expect, De La Cruz features in most categories. Watson up there, which is good to see, in stolen bases as well. And if we go down to the pitchers, no one is there, which is a little bit weird considering, how well the pitching staff as a unit is doing. Do not have any individual that's getting the job done for us. But we've always had that sort of pitching staff, I think, have we? No real stars, but as a unit, they seem to do quite well. So speaking of the unit, let's have a quick look here. Now you'll notice that at the top there, Alcantara is back from his injury. It was Duran that has dropped out, and dropping back into the bullpen was Murillo, I think, is the guy that we dropped back into the bullpen. But yeah, like I say, generally speaking, the pitching staff is doing okay. A couple of the bullpen guys have had rough starts. I mean, McKinley Moore's only pitched 3.1 innings, so maybe some excuses there for his high ERA. Montano is, his FIP is 277, so he's perhaps been a little bit unlucky. But yeah, his ERA does not look good, having given up 11 earned runs in 8.1 inning as the closer. 7 of those was 1 game, as we saw. So you take that away, and maybe it's not quite so bad. Well, it isn't quite so bad, because then it's 4 runs from 8. So 8 innings, because he only pitched 0.1, didn't he? So yeah, there's you never want to read too much, I always think, into pitching numbers early days here. But Levi Kelly deserves a mention. 10 shutout innings, no earned runs at all, or no runs at all, is excellent work from him. Maybe he should be closing instead of Montano. Which brings us to the hitters. Now, as you've noticed, Vlad is missing. The person that's come in to, Necker came in originally to replace him. The person that's come in now to replace Necker is Bracefield. I will have a look at him in just a second here. He hasn't played a game. I just made a decision after the last loss to the Mariners there. But yeah, you can see the batting in general is not really up to scratch. Pratt has had a bad start to the year. Garland and Namala have not covered themselves in glory. De La Cruz is doing De La Cruz things. But even McQuaid is maybe a little bit off where we would ideally want him to be. And certainly Patterson is as well. I think he's worth more. He can do more than that. But you look at the OPS pluses, and there's not a great deal to get excited about there, is there? So yeah, we either need the bats to warm up, or we're going to need a new hitting coach, I think. And the new hitting coach is going to be very expensive, given that this idiot gave him a 4-year deal. But anyway, let's go and check the lineups as we get ready to host the Mariners and avoid a sweep. On your feet, Chicago, as we try and get the season back on track. At first base, it's Mike Garland. At second base, it's Khalil Watson. At third base, it's Ellie De La Cruz. At shortstop, it's Aja Namala. In left field, it's Nate Giordano. In center field, it's Ernesto De Leon. In right field, a big Major League welcome to Mason Bracefield. Designated hitter is William McQuaid. Behind the plate, it's Jay Langer. And your starting pitcher is Sandy Gaston. So here we go. It's a very, very different team, isn't it, when you look at the lineup like that? So Khalil Watson at second base will lead us off. Garland filling in for Vlad at first, bat second. Then we've got Dela Cruz, McQuaid, Giordano, who is the direct replacement in the lineup, more or less, just positional change. But for Petey Crow, bats 5. Then we've got Namala Bracefield on his major league debut. Ernesto, the center fielder, the De Leon, and Langers is catching this one. Gaston on the mound so far this season, 0-2 record, ERA of 487, whip of 128. We're up against Austin Nye. Now he has a 3-0 record, ERA of 235, and a whip of .91. So that doesn't bode particularly well for us, does it? Now I did say, Edouard Julien is starting lining up for them. We've got Otani in there, so there's a couple of guys that have played fairly big parts on this channel in the past. But yeah, I said that we'd have a look at Bracefield, so let's do that now before I forget beforehand. And this is him. He's solid. He can't defend to save himself, so let's hope not much goes out into right field for this one. In hindsight, actually, I probably should have played him at DH and McQuaid in left field with Giordano in right, but you know, we live and learn on that one, I suppose. But yeah, we'll see what he does. His career coming up to the majors. We can see it there. He came up really quickly and then sort of stalled out in AAA for a little while. You could argue he hasn't really earned his chance yet this season with those numbers, but it was early days, obviously, and he did have a fairly strong even spring training, if I remember correctly. So he's here now. He's in the lineup. Let's hope he has a good day. So for the first time this season, welcome to Wrigley. It is familiar face Eduardo Julian, is it? No, Julian Eduardo Julian that is leading us off. He was, of course, a fairly big part of quite a couple of our playoff sides, but we ended up giving him up. We've got a full count here and a strikeout to get things underway. That'll bring up McNeil batting 242. Another full count. And another strikeout. So Gaston, he's using up some pitches, but he is getting the job done. It brings Julio Rodriguez up, who is batting 277. Another full count, and another strikeout. Not a bad start at all. And now Gaston actually had a 5 scoreless inning streak coming into it, so that is now 6. As Watson will lead us off. It's going to be a 2-0 pitch. It's the first time we've seen him in a Cubs uniform, and he has put that in front of the center fielder who stood there and looked at it. And we've got a leadoff single. In comes Garland now, only batting 179 this season. Oh, Watson, you muppet. Picked off at first. Come on, Judy. He grounds it to the second baseman. To be fair, unless Watson stole second there, that was a double play ball if we ever saw one, wasn't it? So it brings Dela Cruz in now with 2 out and none on. He's batting 303. Already with 8 home runs this year, and that is going to float into right field and be a 2-out single. So this will bring McQuaid in now, batting 250, a 1-0. There goes Dela Cruz, and he is one of the best stealers in baseball. That's his 10th of the season, and let's see if McQuaid can drive in a run. No, he cannot. And despite 2 hits, we will go to the second inning scoreless. And we'll see if Gaston can continue this scoreless streak of his. It's Otani to lead them off, batting 256. A 2-2 pitch. And another strikeout. Not bad. 4 from 4. Go on, Sandy. Trilio comes in now, batting 304. Another full count. His pitch count's going to be ridiculous. And finally, he's given up a walk. He's already thrown 36 pitches, which given he's had 4 full counts, it's not maybe the worst. Balcazar comes in. That was the name of Raymond Holt's Goy thing, wasn't it? If you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Anyway, Everett Johnson, batting 173. That's another full count. It's 2 out, and it is hit into center field. De Leon is there, and that'll be scoreless inning number 7 in the streak now for Gaston. Nye will face Giordano, batting 226 this year. A 1-2 pitch. It is his sort of full rookie campaign. We did see him at the end with the expanded roster last year, but yeah, he's not quite kicked on this year as I'd hoped, and he's now officially entered a slump. Namala will come in. He's only batting 191. And you can see the bats, they just haven't started yet. There's a part of me that thinks maybe as the season goes on, we'll sort of get back to the mean, but that's just not looking good, is it? Bracefield, his first career at bat. Full count. Let's see what he can do. And he has grounded out to the second baseman to end the second. So we'll go to the third. Gaston will face Medina, who is batting 259. A full count. And a strikeout. This is... I don't know I've ever seen so many full counts. And he's only lost one of them. A 2-2 now on another guy with another strikeout. So that is 7 strikeouts in 2.2 innings, sorry. Julian comes back up 0 for 1. A 2-2 and another strikeout for Sandy Gaston. And another scoreless inning to the streak. Alright, it is De Leon now, batting 261 this season. A first pitch swing. De Leon into center field. That is going to be caught, though, for 1 away. It'll bring up Langers. Langers batting 265. He's not the worst. I think he's a pretty solid backup catcher, actually, as he grounds it out there to the third baseman. So that is 2 away. And Watson will come back up. 1 for 1. Did, of course, get picked off in the first inning. A 1-0 pitch, and Watson grounds it to the second baseman. And that'll do it for the third. A great game if you enjoy defensive baseball. McNeil will lead them off 0 for 1 to face Gaston. Another full count. And this time he loses him. So the leadoff man is aboard. Rodriguez now, who's 0 for 1. First pitch into left field. It should be easy enough for Giordano out there. 1 away. Runner will stay at first. And that'll bring up Otani, who is 0 for 1. A 2-1 pitch. And a ground ball. We get the man at second. We cannot quite turn the double, it didn't look like. And there is 2 out. Runner at first now for Trillo, who is 0 for 0. Must have walked last time up. That goes straight up into the air. It'll hit the pitcher on the head if he's not careful. But Namala will make the catch. And that'll end the top of the fourth. Alright, Garland to lead us off. He is 0 for 1. A full count. Come on, Judy. He draws a walk. Leadoff man aboard. Alright. De La Cruz, who is 1 for 1. A 1-2. De La Cruz lines it straight to the second baseman. Judy's on his toes. And gets himself back to first in time. McQuaid now, who's 0 for 1. A 1-2. McQuaid! It looked good off the bat. It looks very good. It is gone. William McQuaid with a 2-run home run. 406 feet. And we take a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the fourth. Excellent work by McQuaid. And it is Giordano now, who is 0 for 1. 1 out, none on. 2-2 pitch. And Giordano strikes out for 2 down. And in will come Namala, who is 0 for 1. A 1-2 pitch. Namala watches it. And that will do it for the fourth, but we have a lead. Gaston will face Balcazar, who is 0 for 1. It's an 0-1 pitch. And it's a ground ball back to Gaston, over to first, 1 away. You'll notice that Garland at first is actually he's not too bad, and he should get better as well as he plays the position. Another strikeout for Gaston. 9 strikeouts that is now, and that'll do it for him. Sandy Gaston, mate, that was spectacular. 4.2 inning. Is that enough to get him a win, or do you have to go 5? I can't remember now. But anyway, Gallagher comes in. He's one of the new signings for this year. I've lost track of how many innings that is now. So if it was 5, it must be 9.2 scoreless inning for Gaston. And Gallagher himself is on a streak of 6 scoreless inning. So let's see if he can get himself out of this and keep that streak going. 1-1. It is through the infield, and suddenly we have 2 on. Runners at first and second with 2 out. And it is Julian to the plate, who is 0 for 2. It's a 2-2 pitch. And Julian grounds it to Namala, who can't handle it. And it's an infield single. It's loaded the bases with 2 out. Come on, Gallagher. McNeil's at the plate. He is 0 for 1. It's a 2-1 pitch. It is into center field. De Leon can't make a catch, and that's going to tie the game. Gallagher, you moron. So it is 2-2 on the 2 RBI single for McNeil. Rodriguez comes in with 2 on, 2 out. A 1-1 pitch. That's a loose one, but Langers does enough to keep the runners where they are. So a 1-2 pitch now. Come on, Gallagher. Gets us out of the inning. But the lead didn't last long, did it? Gaston will be filthy. And Bracefield will lead us off 0 for 1. A 1-1 pitch. Bracefield up the middle. Oh, it's well hit, and the shortstop can't handle it. And it is an error, is it? So he doesn't get his first career hit. That's a little bit unlucky, to be honest. De La Cruz, no. De Leon even. 0-1. De Leon into right field, but no. not quite the strength of McQuaid on behind that one. So that is one away. Runner stays at first. And it is Lengers who is 0 for 1. A 1-1 pitch. Lengers gets hold of one, but straight to left field's glove. So 2 out with a runner at first for Khalil Watson, who is 1 for 2. A first pitch swing. Watson straight to the second baseman, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 5th. It is 2-2 going into the 6th. And Gallagher will continue to Ohtani, who is 0 for 2. It's a full count. And a strikeout for Gallagher. Let's hope he gets himself going now. His, of course, scoreless streak has ended. As Trulio will come in, a 1-2 pitch. And that will be caught by De Leon, or at least it better be. So that is 2 away. And Balcazar will come in 0 for 2. Another full count. How many full counts have we had? And that is going to drop in. So it's a 2-out single. It must be sort of a batting tactic of the Mariners, because surely you wouldn't have that many full counts otherwise. So Gallagher, not his finest work. Murillo will come in to face Johnson, who is 0 for 2, an 0-1, and that should do that, as Judy goes to the base and ends the top of the 6th. Let's see if we can get ourselves back in front. Judy will now lead us off, 0 for 1 today. A 1-0 pitch. Garland grounds it to the first baseman, and that is 1 away. In comes Dela Cruz, who is 1 for 2. It's a 1-1 pitch. Dela Cruz, it's a pitcher killer, straight up the middle for a 1-out single. Alright, McQuaid, you know what he did last time he was up. Can he double the dose? It's a 2-2. It is deep into right field, but not deep enough. And Dela Cruz will go back to first with 2 away. And Giordano will step into the batter's box. He is 0 for 2. It's a 1-0 pitch. And Giordano grounds it to the third baseman. Play made at second. And we'll go to the 7th, tied at 2. Murillo to Medina, who is 1 for 2 today. A 2-2 pitch. And a strikeout for Juan Murillo. Now he's on a streak of 8 scoreless innings, so that's about to go 9 scoreless innings if he can get this out. A 2-2 pitch. There it is. So that is a complete game of scoreless innings for Murillo. Can he now go and get Julian at the plate? That is into center field. De Leon, he can't get back quick enough. And it is a 2-out double for Edouard Julian. Can we now make sure that this doesn't end in a run? It is McNeil who hit the RBI single last time up. This time up he strikes out. And we will stretch, tied at 2. Looking to avoid a sweep. Okay, welcome back. Namala will lead us off. He is 0 for 2 today. Nye continues on the mound for them. It's a first pitch swing. Namala! It is very, very good. It is over the ivy. And Namala leads us off in the 7th with a 422-foot bomb and gives us the lead back. It is now 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th. That's the Namala we should know and love, isn't it? Bracefield now 0 for 2 in his career. A 1-2 pitch. Can he get himself on base for a first time that doesn't involve an error? And the answer to that is no, he can't. De Leon now, who is 0 for 2. It's an 0-2 pitch. De Leon swings about half an hour late, and that'll be 2 away for Lengers to come in now with 2 out, none on. He's 0 for 2. It's a 1-2 pitch. And Lengers down the third base line, but it's fielded, it's thrown, and it's out. So we go to the 8th. 1 run up thanks to Namala. And Murillo will face Rodriguez, who is 0 for 3. It is a first pitch swing, and we've hit him. So tying run aboard. Ohtani now, who is 0 for 3. A 1-0. There goes Rodriguez. Lengers can't get the throw there in time. So tying run in scoring position now as Ohtani grounds it to first. He's out, but the runner goes to third. And it is Trulio to the plate, 0 for 2. First pitch swing into left field. Can Giordano stop the run coming across? No, he cannot. So we are tied up again. Murillo's scoreless run ends. And Balcazar will come in. He is 1 for 3. It's a 2-0 pitch. And that is into right field. Bracefield, we know, is not particularly good. And that will be a 2-out single. So the go-ahead run is now on base. And Levi Kelly, it's his 100th Cubs appearance. And he's got work to do here. It's a 2-2 pitch. Can he end this inning for us? Yes, he can. So we are tied once more. Our leads aren't lasting very long, are they? So we're into their bullpen. It's Colby White, who has an ERA of 386 so far this season. He's going to face Watson. He has 1 for 3 so far today. First pitch swing, and Watson grounds it to the second baseman, who gets it stuck in his hands or something. And it's an error. So Khalil Watson on board. Judy at the plate. He is 0 for 2, a 1-1. And there goes Watson. Watson is at second. So our go-ahead run, Watson 9 for 9 in steals, and it's actually a 14 stolen base streak he is on. Some of that, of course, will be at Boston. A 2-2 for Garland. He strikes out. In comes Dela Cruz, who is 2 for 3. First pitch. Dela Cruz into right field. No. Can Watson get over to third? No. So it comes down to McQuaid. He's going to face Matt Cronin on the mound. He's a lefty, and he has an ERA of 281 so far this season. It's a first pitch swing. Come on, McQuaid. Come on. He has grounded it straight back to the pitcher, and we will go to the 9th, tied at 1. No, tied at 3 even. Levi Kelly to Medina, who is 1 for 3. Of course, the worst thing about that is Dela Cruz and McQuaid unlikely to bat again in this one, as we get the out at first for 1 away in the top of the 9th. And Guiliano, who is 1 for 3. It's an 0-1 pitch. It's a ground ball. Namala should have that. That'll be out. 2 down. And it'll bring up Edouard Julian again, who is 2 for 4. Had a decent day. It's a full count. 2 out. None on. And a ground ball easily handled there by Watson. And we will now go to the bottom of the 9th and see if we can win this and avoid the sweep. Gregory Santos will come onto the mound for them. ERA of 126 so far this season. Giordano at the plate. He is 0 for 3. It is a full count. Can Nate get himself on base? Yes, he can. All right. In comes Namala. Home run for him last time up, of course. A 2-2 pitch. That could be a double play. They just get the man at second. So it's going to bring in Bracefield. A chance to be a rookie hero in this one at 2-0. There goes Namala. Namala gets himself to second. His third stolen base of the season. Can Bracefield walk us off now? A 2-1 pitch. And they've put him on to get to De Leon, which among other things rhymes. And De Leon is 0 for 3. It's a 3-1. De Leon into center field. It's going to drop in. Is that going to win us the game? We're going home with Namala. And Ernesto De Leon has walked us off with an RBI single. Very, very nicely done. So no Vlad, no Patterson, no problem. We go back to 500, and that's important. We obviously you don't want to be below 500. We're still 4.5 games back of the Brewers, but yeah, like I say, when Vlad and Patterson come back into that lineup, it does suddenly start to look a lot stronger again. And yeah, we just need the bats to get going. And even in that one, they never really did get going. But we did do just enough to make sure that we got the job done. And the pitching, for the most part, was quite good. So that'll do it for today. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Merry Christmas, of course, as well. This is the last video before Christmas. So I'll see you, actually, maybe, are we going to do a Christmas Day video? I'll try, so we can keep the schedule up. And what we'll do is we'll come back. Let's come back to face the Dodgers. Start of June. Yeah, it's a pretty good time to come back. Hopefully, we'll have really kicked on a little bit and be flying. But there is also a chance we'll have sacked the batting coach and be in disarray. But let's hope for the former. Take care.